Okay, my name is Carolyn Foster, and I am presenting data on the TruScore for the junior class for Alexandria High School. So the demographics for the junior class is there are 95 white students that took the TruScore, 49 males, 46 females, 16 white students, 5 males, 11 females, and then there were 4 Asian and Pacific Islanders. And then the exceptionalities that I chose were the students with IEPs or students with learning disabilities. There were 19 of those, and there were 18 gifted students that took it. So why I chose to do the TruScore, we do the TruScore school-wide, so it's 9th through 12th grade. 12th graders don't have to take the test, but they can if they choose to. And the TruScore is just a practice test of the ACT, and it simulates the rigor of the ACT. And then it gives you feedback, personalized feedback, for each one of those skill gaps that you're missing. So the test that I chose was the middle of the year TruScore test. And the goals for that test for 9th grade is just to prepare them for the actual ACT. For the 10th graders, they take the pre-ACT in October, so they get to take the beginning of the year TruScore test. The juniors get the opportunity to actually take the beginning of the year and the middle of the year, and then they take the ACT in March. And then again, the seniors don't have to take it, but they can if they would like to. By the end of their senior year, each student has to benchmark on all levels of the ACT, or they have to credential in some other area in order to graduate. So the data that I chose to use, so the middle year of the middle of year scores for the TruScore, the composite for the junior class was 18.13, and then your English scores were about 17, so it's math. Your reading scores was about a 19, and the science scores was about 18. And the benchmarks for those numbers are right here. They have to score an 18 in English, a 22 in math, 22 in reading, and a 23 in science in order to benchmark for graduation. And then the differentials there. So the English scores are a little bit off, almost a point. Math scores are about 4 points off from benchmarking. Reading is almost 3, and science is almost 5. And then their growth from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year, they went down a little bit in every area except for math, and math scores went up about a half a point. So here are some of the issues that we saw during those scores. First of all, the demographics. So everybody in the junior class has to take the ACT. So in thinking about that, some of those kids just may not want to test. They may not care anything about the test, which goes down to there's no accountability for that test. So they have to take it, whether they do well or not. Some of them don't care because, again, there's no accountability for that. Also, block scheduling can be an issue. Some of those kids are taking a math class in the fall and they're not seeing another math class until the following fall or possibly the following spring. So they're going long gaps without having those. Test fatigue, just once. So if you look at this is their English scores for our beginning of the year and middle of the year. By the end of that first English section, it's possible that scores went down just because they were tired of taking that first test. We don't know. We do offer an ACT prep class, but again, everybody doesn't get to take that class. There are 10th graders in that class, not just juniors. And again, this data is just for the juniors. And then testing on the computer, students have an issue. Some students have issues with testing on computers. They would rather have paper and pencil. So the trends and the implications that we saw from this test, their scores in math increased from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year. Again, that can be because they could have taken a math class at the beginning of the year, and by the time December rolled around, that their scores could have went up. We don't know. And then scores decreased in other areas. So here's places that we can celebrate. 40, so benchmark students, 49 students benchmark in English, 11 in math, 40 in reading, 26 in science, and then our gifted students, 15 of our 18 gifted students benchmark. And then here are areas of weakness. Again, math and science are our weak areas, so we have to figure out how to get those scores up in those areas. And then when we looked at the data from our SPED population, our special education students, nobody benchmarked. So we have to figure out how to get those kids moved up in that ladder, or we have to make sure that they can credential somewhere else. All right, so here's some steps that we can take. The first one is Mastery Prep. So TruScore is a part of the Mastery Prep program. Mastery Prep takes those TruScore test scores, and those students can, the areas that they struggle in, TruScore can take those and make a lesson for those kids to work in those. So maybe they struggle with graphing, they can take that and work on graphing just through Mastery Prep. iExcel can be used for math, English, and science. Some of the teachers do use iExcel in order to individualize lessons for those students. We do offer ACT prep classes, and hopefully as the years go on, we can offer more of those classes. But for now, we're also offering an after-school ACT prep class. Some teachers are also using the bell ringers from ACT scores just to make sure that those students are seeing those every day. And then reading 30 minutes. So you can choose reading 30 minutes in any area. It doesn't just have to be in an English classroom. It could be math and science, history, any of those classes. And then we offer after-school tutoring for students that want to work to get better at those. So I'll just throw this question out to you science teachers. What do you guys do as far as reading goes?
We implement case studies into our lessons, and also we focus on informational text. Mm-hmm. So we try to give our students, an opportunity to read things that would be similar to like what they would see on the ACT.
So that would help with the TruScore and with the actual ACT testing, and that's another way that we can work on getting those scores up for the science portion of the ACT. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.